been a long time since I've posted on this channel. Kind of experience life, other busy things, mainly college, job uncertainty, all that kind of stuff, which is kind of what I wanted to talk about in today's little video for the tens and tens of people that are going to see this. I don't know. I just kind of want to talk and get some things off my chest because I think there's a lot of frustrating things in the I want to say professional world that you don't quite think about as a college student or just as a younger person in general. Now, in the time since my last video, which was I think 3 years ago, I finished college, graduated with a bachelor's in criminal justice, and I've been doing a lot of job searching. I just graduated in May of last year, May of 2024, and it is currently February of 2025, and I am still without a career job. I have some weird semblance of a job. I'm a substitute teacher. It's not very consistent. It's not very, you can't really rely on it. And if you just don't like kids, then you shouldn't even do it. And ironically enough, something I've noticed subbing is that I don't like kids very much, or at the very least, I don't like dealing with them. I think that's a better way to put it. I don't like dealing with kids. Kids are fine, but dealing with them in a educational manner is a much different beast, if you will. But anyway, that's besides the point of the video. I just kind of wanted to get on here and talk about career struggles with that, and a lot of interesting, I don't want to say hypocrisy, but things that are just backwards in the world, especially for younger people out there that are still in college and all that, and even just for people that have already graduated college and maybe are in the same boat as I am, can maybe empathize with that as well. So anyway, the point is finding a career is not easy. I feel like at least as easy as it used to be. Like I said, I graduated college last May, in May of 2024, and I just feel like every job in the professional world requires experience, and that's not something a lot of kids, or I shouldn't say kids, but young adults out of college have or can reasonably obtain. I know there's things like internships and whatnot, but a lot of internships don't pay, or if they do, it's very little. And I know that's kind of your way in, but that's not even the case for most people. Internships just aren't a feasible thing for what they're trying to do. A lot of jobs are increasingly requiring, or at least emphasizing, experience much more than a college degree, which fair. If you want experience, just put that in your requirements or your minimum qualifications. There you go. But some of my gripes are with the simple fact that not only will they have experience, but in some cases they'll say, hey, college experience, college units will substitute for the required experience. Essentially, it's kind of an either or. Yeah, we like experience, but if you have a college degree, or if you have units, that can substitute for the required experience that they are asking for. And actually, just recently, I got a email back from a job offer, or I should say, an employer, and where it said that specific thing, where school can substitute for the required experience, and they essentially got back to me and told me that I don't have the required experience for the position. And keep in mind, this is all, I'm not trying to go above my league here. I'm not applying for things that are so unreasonable. A lot of this stuff is more like office assistant type of work, more clerical, if you will, which I don't think it has an inherent amount of skill involved. I think, or at least specialty involved. At least nothing that you can't learn, on the job, and that's with most cases, I think. And I didn't have the required experience, although I do have the degree that they specifically said that could substitute for the required experience. Well, it's a little frustrating in that way. I've noticed that a lot. A lot of things are that way. Also, just the fact that I don't understand where and how companies want you to get experience, but no one's going to hire you. You're not going to get hired anywhere if you don't have experience. How am I supposed to get that experience? You know, it's a very backwards thing. It's very frustrating as a young adult trying to find their way. If I didn't mention it earlier, I guess I should have started off with this. I'm 25. I'm still living with my parents and all that. I don't have any sort of career lined up right now. I know my degree's in criminal justice, like I said earlier, and I know a lot of you might be saying, "Hey, why don't you be a cop or a CEO or anything like that, or a lawyer for that matter?" And to be quite frank, I just don't want to. It doesn't really seem that fun to me. Working all that much. I do have family that are in law enforcement and such, and seeing what they kind of have to go through and what they have to do, what they have to put themselves through. It's just not something I want for myself. I want to be more on the inside of things, more on the background, more behind the scenes of the law enforcement field. I figured, if I'm going to get a degree in criminal justice, or if I have a degree in criminal justice, I might as well try and use it. But you may be asking yourself, why would you want it? Why would you get a criminal justice degree if you don't want to be a cop or a lawyer? It seems kind of useless. And to that, I would say, first of all, good question. To be fair, I've been asking myself the same thing, but I think the problem with that goes a little deeper. I think with that, it's a societal thing where society and just everyone in general, you're expected to have your career not figured out, but you're expected to know what you want to do for the rest of your life at such a young age. When you're graduating high school or you're getting close to, that final year of high school, and you're supposed to be picking where you want to go to college, what you want to do, what you want to major in. And it's expected of you to know what you want to do for the rest of your life at that young age of 16, 17 years old, which I think is quite unfair because, you have a lot of growing up to do, and between ages 17 to even 24, there's a lot of maturing that goes on there. And so I think that, like I said, having the expectation of having it all not figured out, but having a sense of what you want to do is a little unfair. And at the time of, when I graduated high school, I was going to graduate high school and picking where I wanted to go to school. That was just something I honestly didn't quite know what I wanted to do. I'm not really a very decisive person naturally. So when tasked with making a decision for the rest of my career, I was a little bit apprehensive. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. And seeing that, I had family in law enforcement and in that field, I just thought, oh, criminal justice, that's easy. I'll just pick that. That's what I know to a certain degree. That's just what I'm used to. It's easy. Just do that. Made the decision easy, so I didn't have to think about it too much. When in all reality, with that degree, you kind of pigeonhole yourself to police officer, lawyer, and some other miscellaneous, fields out there. Not fields, but professions, I should say. You kind of pigeonhole yourself with those specific professions. You can't go as broad with criminal justice as you can with other degrees, which makes it a little bit more challenging in the job search that I've been experiencing, which just makes it so much more frustrating when you spend years of your life thinking you're going to do something and you try to go do that one thing and it's a lot more challenging than you thought it was going to be. The barrier of entry is much higher than you thought it would be, and it's just a lot harder to even get in the field that you want to be in, or at least that your degree is in. And I've never really been one to say or subscribe to the idea that college is a scam. I guess that can be relative. I've always thought, if you're going to be a doctor, anything of that nature, obviously you need a degree. That's necessary. There's no questions about that. But for other things, it's a little more trivial. Like, for example, my case, criminal justice. there's a lot of the jobs I think that I can get into. Looking at the job postings, minimum qualifications, a lot of the jobs that I'm applying for don't even require experience or a degree. It's entry level. It's the base of the base. Yeah, they probably would prefer experience or prefer some sort of educational, whether it's an AA or whatever. Obviously, diploma is in most cases is required, diploma or GED. But most of the places that I'm applying for, they're not even asking for some sort of educational requirement, or even an experience requirement. And that's extremely demeaning, deflating. Was my college career just a waste? I have a degree. Why am I looking at these jobs that require no experience, no education? And the reason for it is because all the jobs that require a degree require you to also have experience, like, upwards of, 1, 2, 3 years of experience already in the field. But I don't know how they expect me and other people to get the experience if no one's going to hire us because we don't have experience. It's very backwards. And I honestly just don't know what to do. Like, do I just get one of these jobs that doesn't require any sort of educational barrier? And then, I kind of just wasted, a bunch of years of my life going to college because, that's supposed to get you a secure future. It's supposed to get you a good job. When, in reality, it's just not. It's not guaranteed. So I don't know what to do. I don't know. I guess where I went wrong was, I don't know, getting a degree in something that, is very specific and you can't really go broad with it. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I'm legitimately just going to the bottom of the barrel of the job market, as far as criminal justice is concerned, and trying there. Like I said, places that don't require education or work experience, just to try to get in, because I don't know where else to go. I don't know how I'm supposed to get somewhere or how I'm supposed to use the degree that I got and get into that field. It doesn't make sense. And I'm sure that's the case for a lot of other people that are, that have a degree. They're struggling trying to find a job. Every place requires experience when, no one's going to hire you because you don't have experience. I don't know. I know I keep reiterating that, but it's something that has been true for a while. And it's just not, I don't think it's fair. And I call me a crybaby all you want. I really don't care. I don't see the logic in it. I don't see how that's fair to people that, spend years in college. For me, it's a little different. I spent a little longer in college. I graduated high school in 2017 and graduated college in 2024. I had a little bit of a break in there in between because I didn't quite know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if criminal justice was the right path. So I switched to a different major in between, and realized that second major wasn't what I wanted to do either. So I decided to take the path of least resistance and go back to criminal justice because that was just the quickest way to a degree. And to be truthful to you, I really didn't want to do school anymore. I'm very over it. And so I just decided to go back to criminal justice, finish off I think it was a year and a half, 2 years that I had left, and graduated last year. So I am a little late to the game as far as searching for a job, or at least a lot further along, or further away, I should say, than I want to be. I think most most people my age, 25, have something set up. They have a career. Maybe they still live at home, but they have a career. They're saving up to get there. They already moved out. They already have their career. They got kids, et cetera, et cetera. I'm seeing a lot of that with the people that I went to school with. They're going on and being successful. Moving out of their parents' house. Finding a career, finding a job, finding wives, husbands, whatever. A lot of them are going through that, and I feel like that is the right age to kind of experience that. But I think I'm severely behind, and it's very deflating again in that way, knowing that you have so many people that going on, making money, doing all these good things, when you're kind of just stuck in limbo and you don't really know what to do. I'm trying my best, I'm applying for jobs. I'm, doing my due diligence on things, and nothing has quite opened up yet. Like I said, I do have, a semi, you know, I don't really know. I mean, it is a job, but it's substitute teaching. It's kind of at will whenever you want to. So there's no real structure to it. It's just kind of you wake up, and if you want to do it that day, you do. But it's also reliant on there being work and there being teachers out for you to sub for. So it's not anything that I want, full time or anything like that. But I'm trying to use my degree. I'm trying to get into that criminal justice field, and I don't know how else to get there. It just seems so difficult, and I don't know how to climb that barrier. Life after college is extremely uncertain. I mean, for me specifically, but I know there's a lot of other people that can also empathize with that. They're just kind of floating, or at least I feel like I'm floating. I don't really know what I'm doing particularly. I'm kind of just here. Like I said, I'm applying and stuff like that for other jobs. It's just nothing's quite panned out. So I don't really know how to voice those frustrations. Which is why I'm kind of doing it now, just to kind of see, I know there's other people out there that are experiencing some similar situations. I just don't quite know how to navigate it. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep going. That's the only thing I know how to do, to be honest with you. Just kind of keep floating. Hopefully something works out. Hopefully something pans out. Hopefully something comes along that, is good, good enough to take. Because I don't really want to just take some, part-time, no benefit job. That's what, your college work life is for. When you're in school, you're just going part-time, working part-time, I should say, to, make a little extra money while you're going to school. It's not something I want anymore. I don't want to go work at, Starbucks or, any sort of customer service. That's all I've ever worked is customer service. And along with other people that have worked customer service, it sucks. I know this probably comes across as just me just complaining a bunch, and fair. I just don't know how else to get this across. I just think that the professional world is so backwards. The only way you can really get in anywhere is if you know someone, which makes it that much more frustrating if you don't know anybody, because you're just always going to come in second place, which is again very deflating. It doesn't make you feel good about any situation that you're in already. I'm kind of just on here yapping. There's no real structure to this. I'm kind of just talking, so forgive me for that. But like I said, I don't really know how else to get this across. I'm just kind of saying what comes to mind, kind of more candid. Like, as I sit here, I wonder, how long am I going to be living at home for? How long am I going to be, relying on my parents to, take care of my bills? Not necessarily all my bills, but just my living expenses. I take care of some other things, with my own personal bills, but when it comes to living, I'm very reliant on them, and it feels really bad knowing that people my age, people even younger than me, far younger than me, are doing much better than I am, financially, and even in just regular life, not even talking about financials, just regular life. So it's a very sucky situation to be in. And I think that also comes with me just being a little bit of an indecisive person. I don't really know what I want to do. I don't even know what I like to do, to be honest with you. I'm very introverted. I don't like going out and doing things, which makes it that much harder to know what you want to do, because I feel like to know what you want to do, you have to have a little bit of life experience doing things that are more out there, and that's how you kind of figure out, where you want to go, where you want to be, so on and so forth. And I just haven't really done that. I've kind of just been at home. I do my thing, go to the gym. That's pretty much the only place I go on a consistent basis is the gym. But other than that, I'm kind of just at home when I'm not, substitute teaching. and yeah, I don't really know where to go. Kind of just feel stuck. I think another thing that blocks me too is the sheer stress and anxiety of taking that next step of being what what I would say a real adult. You know, I feel like my parents' generation, that step was when they were 18, 19, 20, they took that step. Um, but I'm here 25, and I'm in this weird situation where I don't really feel like I don't feel like I'm ready for that next step. And like I said, I'm 25. So when am I ever going to get to that point where I do feel ready to take that next step? And when it does happen, how do I know I'm ready? I don't want to mess up all this stuff. There's a lot of things that go through my mind, and I just it's a very daunting thing to me to have to go through that. So I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. If you have any advice for me, just you can let me know. For the like I said, tens and tens of people are gonna see this. But you know, just kind of on here voicing some frustrations. I don't really know how else to say it, but I appreciate everyone tuning in, whoever's tuning in. You know, like I said, I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna keep moving, keep applying for stuff. Hopefully something works out, but hopefully there's some change in the in the professional world as well. That's one of the things that we can hope for the future. So who knows? Thanks for tuning in though. Appreciate it.